LeBron James is an icon. Growing up in the crime-ridden parts of Akron, Ohio, who would have thought that this young boy from a single-parent household would become the NBA's all-time leading scorer and arguably the greatest basketball player of all time? Now at the age of 40, he is still on top of his game. Virtually unbeatable on the court, he was already there when he was 18 years old. LeBron Raymond James was born on December 30, 1984, to a teenage mother, Gloria James, in Akron, Ohio. LeBron was just 8 years old when his mother sat down with a writer to tell the story of her son, the future NBA star. The two were very poor, and money often determined where they lived in Akron. They would sometimes live in apartments, and sometimes stay with friends and family when financial times got hard. LeBron was already so far off track in the 4th grade that he had missed something like 80 days of school, and might have dropped out entirely if not for the intervention of Frank Walker Sr., a foster parent and coach of a local Pee Wee football team called the Southside Rangers. Walker's son was on the Rangers, and he noticed LeBron, who was tall and showed incredible athletic promise, walking down the street in the neighborhood where he lived with his mother and 2 siblings in a rundown Cleveland housing project. Although LeBron was skipping school and academically struggling to make passing grades on even the simplest assignments, Walker somehow took an instant liking to the young basketball phenom. Before LeBron knew what hit him, he was being whisked away from the Cleveland public housing projects to live with Walker and his family. For the year and a half LeBron resided with the Walkers, he learned a great deal about life from them, and as a result matured in academics for the year in which he stayed with them. It was during LeBron's return to the James' home, when his family once again found itself faltering financially, that Walker came through and paid Gloria's rent for several months. During this time, LeBron was once again surrounded by the environment that had driven him to hope to escape poverty as a child. Before fame, fortune, and notoriety, LeBron James found relief in basketball, a pastime that provided a gateway to his future and a respite from the harsh realities surrounding his adolescent existence. His obsession with the sport was immediate and apparent, and by his freshman year of high school, he was playing for the St. Vincent St. Mary High School Kings. On average, he accumulated 21 points and 6 rebounds per contest, while leading his team to an unbeaten 27-0 season and the Division III state title. By his junior year of high school, LeBron James was putting it up a good amount in each game, averaging 29 points per game, in addition to 8.3 rebounds, 5.7 assists, and 3.3 steals. At 17 years old, he became the first junior to be named Gatorade National Player of the Year, and he appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated that year, dubbed the Chosen One. On June 25, 2003, LeBron James was selected by the Cleveland Cavaliers with the first overall pick in the 2003 NBA Draft. At the time, the 18-year-old was the youngest player to ever be selected as the number 1 pick in the NBA Draft. Although he was still young, it was clear that the pressure of being the focal point for an underperforming team would begin his legendary career in the NBA. He would go on to earn the NBA Rookie of the Year award in 2004. For many, the turn to the Miami Heat signaled LeBron the Jay-Z wannabe turning his back on his hometown of Cleveland. But even after he left for South Beach, it is hard not to look at those early years in the Midwest as the time the young LeBron matured as a baller. 2007 was a great year for Cavs fans and the young basketball world at large, as although the team ultimately got swept by the Spurs in the NBA Finals, it marked the first time the team had made it all the way. At just 22 years old to be able to carry a team to the end of the NBA season was enough to say that the future of basketball was here. 2 years later, the King would return to the finals and make good on the promise that he showed in 2007 by winning back-to-back MVPs for the years 2009 and 2010. The memory of the decision is a painful one for many NBA fans. It's a day that many consider to be one of the darkest moments in NBA history. It took place on July 8, 2010. LeBron would appear on a televised special on ESPN and announce to the world that he would no longer be a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Instead, he was jumping ship to join D-Wade and Chayla Head Chayla in Miami. The way in which he described where he would be taking his talents was especially jarring to Cavaliers fans everywhere. "I'm taking my talents to South Beach," he famously said. As you can probably guess, his words were met with much contempt here in Cleveland. People burned his jersey in the street and called the chump a traitor. His approval ratings plummeted. At what point do you become the best version of yourself? At what point do you realize your full potential? These were the questions that seemed to be answered for LeBron on the shores of Florida. Away from the pressures of the media in Miami, joined by the likes of D-Wade and CB9, he took down some of the best teams to ever step on an NBA court and won 4 consecutive NBA Finals, including back-to-back championships in 2012 and 2013. All of this was new for the NBA athlete, and I guess you could say he was figuring out what it meant to be a real champion. LeBron James shocked the world in 2014 when he returned to Cleveland in an essay published in Sports Illustrated. In the letter, he professed his love for the city and the Cavaliers and explained his thought process behind the move. "I'm not promising a championship," he wrote candidly. "I know how hard that is to deliver. We're not ready right now. But I hold myself to a high standard. I dare not let myself or others down. I'm working in tandem with General Manager David Vetko to get the Cavaliers where they need to be." No! "Of course you're going to try to win it next year now, aren't you? I was really hoping to win this year. Can I enter for next year now?" The championship was won in the most dramatic of fashion this year. The Cavaliers got swept in the first round a year ago, but returned stronger and hotter to take down the heavily favored Warriors in the NBA 2016 Finals 4-3. The team lost the first 3 games, but LeBron somehow brought them back for a Game 7, where he pulled off another triple-double and had one of the greatest blocks in NBA history on Andre Iguodala's contested three-pointer. The heart-wrenching moment when LeBron James collapses to the floor in tears after the Cavaliers win the NBA championship on June 19, 2016. This was the end of an incredible season for the so-called Chosen One LeBron. It marked the end of what many called the Cleveland sports curse, a 52-year drought for Cleveland teams and their fans to experience a championship in any of the major professional sports. In this clip from the championship parade, an emotional LeBron tells the crowd, "I'm nothing without this city. I'm nothing without you all." He was making his 3rd major career decision in 2018 when he chose to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers at the age of 37. Many wondered if the King still had it all left in the tank to deliver another championship to the City of Angels in over a decade. However, in 2020, he delivered on that promise and stamped his name in history as the only player in NBA history to earn the honor of Finals MVP with not 1, 2, but 3 different teams. LeBron James has left an indelible mark on the basketball world, racking up an impressive collection of stats throughout his career. The Akron native continued to pile up records on February 7, 2023, as he first surpassed NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the all-time leading scorer in the history of the league. And he also became the first player in NBA history to record 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. LeBron's longevity is one of his strengths. How long can he keep this up? At least through the end of the regular season, James has scored at least 10 field goals in 1,250 straight regular season games. The last time he had a game where he shot less than 10 field goals was on January 6, 2007. That was over 9 years ago. He's played 750 games since then. That's well past the record of 866 games by Michael Jordan, who held the mark for most consecutive games with 10 or more made field goals. Jordan had the streak from February 9, 2005 to January 6, 2007. That was about 5 full seasons. The closest Steve Jobs announced the iPhone when LeBron was in the midst of a similar streak from February 9, 2005 to January 6, 2007. Just 21 players in NBA history have played into their 40s, and the highest career average for a player in his 40s is just 14.6 points per game. That's why what LeBron James is doing at age 40 is frankly unbelievable. The 18-year veteran is averaging 23.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists per game this season. This isn't the moment when LeBron's son, Bronny, was drafted by the Lakers this year. Nor is this the moment when, on October 26, 2024, LeBron and Bronny became the first father-son duo in NBA history to play together. But this is the moment when LeBron threw the first assist from a father to a son in NBA history. Here, LeBron finds Bronny for the three-ball attempt with 8:17 left in the first quarter against the Brooklyn Nets. "It's always been family over everything," LeBron said. "To be able to have this moment where I am working still and I can work alongside my son, it's one of the greatest gifts I've ever got." When most people think of LeBron James, they think of basketball. For good reason. He's one of the best athletes in the world. But for those in the Akron, OH community where he grew up, they know him for so much more. His LeBron James Family Foundation was instrumental in creating the I Promise School in Akron in 2018, which he has called his most important professional accomplishment to date. LeBron has become the first active NBA player to reach the billionaire status in 2022. The majority of that comes from his lifetime deal with Nike, reportedly worth over $1 billion. He's also the founder of the Spring Hill Company, a global media and entertainment company that produces content for traditional and digital platforms. It's a dream come true for any basketball fan for Kobe to be receiving the honors he is receiving. 4 NBA championships, 4 MVP awards, 4 Finals MVP awards, 22 NBA All-Star Game appearances, and 3 Olympic gold medals. This last year, at the age of 39, Kobe was the captain of Team USA at the Olympics held in Paris. 13 times he has been named to the All-NBA First Team, the highest honor a player can receive. He also holds the record for most games, with 10 or more points played, most games with 20 or more points scored, most free throws attempted and made, most field goal attempts and makes, and many other categories. Cleveland Cavaliers star James has faced criticism regarding his defense over the past few years. Most notably, his infamous decision to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2010 for the Miami Heat was viewed as one of the worst moments in recent NBA history. However, what most do not know is that James is doing something greater than clearing up his public image. He is showing other athletes how to view their careers and the vast power their platform holds. By taking control of his career and moving to wherever he desires, James started a new era of superstar involvement. Reading between the lines of LeBron's life and basketball career, the book describes the journey of a young, underachieving third grader on the streets of Akron, on the verge of dropping out of school compared to the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. The book describes how the main event star, that was once viewed as the villain because of the decision, became the hero that brought a championship to the city of Cleveland and the country. The book also describes the 14-year-old teenage phenomenon compared to the 40-year-old basketball marvel still dominating the game today. Even though he's now famous around the world, you can still call him just a kid from Akron. Jumpman takes you back to where it all started in the latest short documentary from Jordan Brand. The documentary showcases LeBron's progression as an athlete, but never forgets the people and city that have made his journey so memorable.